Well, Gary, our top story today, some grisly details here. New information emerges about a man that police shot to death earlier this week. That man from Weymouth, who allegedly murdered his own mother before police shot him to death, had close family ties to Boston Mayor Marty Walsh. It's true. It's a sensitive story. Paul Campbell's his name. He was once in a relationship with the mayor's own girlfriend. In fact, he's the father of her daughter. Well, the mayor is asking for some privacy.
I got a phone call this morning, very surprised, and my heart goes out to all the people affected here. In particular, as I said, Laurie and Lauren are my first priority in life, and my heart's with them, and I ask for your privacy.
Now, in the past, the mayor has said that his girlfriend and her daughter were both very close to Campbell's mother. She was the one found dead on those steps of that house with several stab wounds. Police say 2 Weymouth officers shot Campbell when he came at them with a knife after he killed his mother, Patricia. District Attorney Michael Morris said the officers just didn't have a choice.
The 2 officers appeared to make a simultaneous decision that the use of force was necessary, and they both discharged their weapons.
Campbell grew up in Dorchester there. In fact, he was a close family friend of the Wahlbergs. In fact, he appeared in 2 movies. One, The Fighter, is Christian Bale's best friend. You might recognize him from that role. Also a smaller role in the movie Ted, of course, with Mark Wahlberg in that as well. Now, the 2 officers who shot and killed Campbell were suspended on administrative leave. That's a part of police department protocol. In other news, a peaceful protest in downtown Boston on Monday to draw attention to racial inequality. It's a part of the ongoing discussion regarding deaths of black men at the hands of police. Now, the demonstration was dedicated to the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hundreds of people marched around the Commons and the Public Garden, staging 2 so-called die-ins along the way as demonstrators laid down in the streets in memory of those who were lost to deadly force. Dr. King often talked about police brutality, things like economic oppression. For those marchers and demonstrators in Boston, those words still true today. Protesters are demanding things like jail for police officers who kill suspects, a halt to prison expansion, and a living wage. In other news, some good news here. The lowest heating oil prices in 6 years, giving an unexpected boost to the New England economy. State officials say families that use oil to heat their homes, well, hey, they can expect savings between $1,200 and $1,500 on average this year. It's good news. Now, across the region, cheaper heating oil translates into hundreds of millions of dollars in savings, and that, of course, puts more money in people's pockets. With all that money piling up, some of you husbands, I think, are starting to run out of excuses to cross that item off the to-do list. Better get to work. And then in other news, victims of Mark Wahlberg's assaults, those were committed when he was a teenager, long before he was a celebrity. Those victims are now divided over whether or not he should get the pardon he's looking for. It was 1988 when actor Mark Wahlberg attacked 2 Vietnamese men, punching them and kicking them. Investigators noted in their report at the time they believe that race was a factor. Wahlberg was 16 at the time. He was arrested, sentenced to 2 years in jail. He spent 45 days in prison. Again, this is before he was a celebrity. One of those men came out in support of a pardon for the actor. But before all of that, Wahlberg already had other serious run-ins with the law. Just 2 years prior, he was in trouble for other incidents, also with racial overtones. And in one of them, he's accused of throwing rocks and shouting slurs at a group of African-American school kids that were on a field trip. Now, one of those students on that trip, she says she does not support a pardon for the attack. However, a teacher who is also on that trip says if Wahlberg apologizes to his victims, then he should deserve a pardon. And the controversy surrounding Deflategate continues. You've seen it on Twitter. The Patriots preparing to go to Glendale, Arizona for the Super Bowl next month after completely annihilating the Colts on Sunday's game in the AFC Championship. But several reports indicate a player on the Colts, DeQuell Jackson, noticed something unusual after intercepting a pass from Tom Brady in the 3rd quarter. The player took the ball to the coach. He said something might be wrong with it. The coach took the ball to the general manager, and on up from there. The NFL took over. You could say they're putting the squeeze on. Patriots coach Bill Belichick says he is cooperating with the investigation. Meanwhile, Tom Brady has said he doesn't answer questions or accusations like this one. But tight end Rob Gronkowski, he had his own explanation here. Gronk posted this picture to his Twitter account. Gronking may cause deflation. Of course, his end zone celebration, I guess that's better than being a Jets fan. I hear that may cause depression.